Hello guys, welcome to Open Techno. Today we are going to do the continuation of a video that I already presented to you a while ago. I don't know if you remember that I introduced you to the PLAUD Note, a device that allowed us to record conversations, university classes or whatever, and then on a mobile. Summarize it, make a mind map, transcribe it, and even be able to ask questions about all that audio recording through artificial intelligence. It's a device that many of you liked and that the brand has continued working on developing until we get to the device that I'm going to present to you today, which is the Plauz NotePin or NotePin, however you want to say it. The fact is that it's a much smaller device that allows us to do those same activities. However, if you haven't seen the video, don't worry, I'm going to explain everything again, and I'm also going to explain why a device like this makes sense. First, let's discuss the PLAUD unboxing, as I mentioned previously. The experience of doing everything is extremely well taken care of. The unboxing of both the device itself, the NotePin, and the accessories is very well done. It comes in a box with separate compartments for the device and accessories, both easily accessible. The packaging is magnetized and very well designed. Are you seeing it in the pictures? It's really cool. On one hand, we have the Plauz NotePin, which would be the device, the bracelet, or the little pill, however you want to call it, that is going to do all this recording part. Then, what this device allows us, compared to the Note that I presented to you a few months ago, is to be able to carry it in a lot of different ways. Specifically, there are four, mainly. The first would be, as you are seeing it on me, which is the way I like it the most. On the bracelet, we have a bracelet in which it fits, and then through a series of magnets, like the Apple Watch bracelet, it would already stick. And the truth is that it doesn't move at all. It is a device that weighs about 25 grams, about 5 centimeters long, so it is very tiny. We won't notice. It looks, as I tell you, a lot like the typical Xiaomi Mi Band that we've all worn at some point in our lives. However, when we take it off, we see that we can use it in other ways. The next one would be like a pin on a shirt. I'm wearing a sweatshirt now and I don't have a summer shirt, so I don't think it applies well. But to give you an idea, it would simply be that we have a magnetized back part, so we could put the NotePin on the front. Behind the shirt, put the magnet and it would be completely magnetized. And we carry it on our chest or near the voice emission from the mouth. After all, something perhaps more suitable for winter could be the clip that comes with it. It's a clip that the same magnetically sticks the Plauz NotePin. And then, well, we could put it, for example, here on the hood with that clip I was telling you about. Well, the hood wouldn't look good, but we could put it here on the tie and we would have it too. Similarly, in a place very close to the mouth to record the audio well. And the last one, also essential, is for all those who like to wear pendants. We are going to have the possibility of hanging it using this pendant that also comes in the accessory box. It comes with a buckle super well prepared so that we directly anchor it and it stays perfectly secure. You're not going to have any kind of problem. In fact, it's almost harder to take it out than to put it in. It's true that it's a delight how much Plauz has thought about both the accessories and the device itself. They fit super well. The color, as you can see, is silver, and the way to charge it would be by removing the back part through connectors that are also magnetic. Now let's talk about the main functions that this Plauz NotePin allows us. As I've told you, the main function is to make a voice recording and then be able to process it using artificial intelligence on our mobile device. First off, what does this little pill, so to speak, offer us compared to the Note, that little card I showed you a few months ago? Well, first of all, being able to carry it with us. Instead of carrying it on the back of the phone, on the card, or in a more hidden place, we will be able to carry this accessory on our wrist, hanging, or even, well, attached to our clothes, which makes it much easier to simply press it and start a recording. Things I can tell you about the functionality is that we will be able to perform 300 minutes of recording for free. Then we have other plans to have more recording. We can hire the cloud to have our recordings distributed among all our mobile devices. And then, you should know that all this information is encrypted through Amazon Web Services, Azure, and Google Cloud. Then, the device is going to have 64 gigabytes of storage, and we are going to have a battery life between 18 and 20 hours of recording, which gives us for very intense days. But hey, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Let's come to the table and I'll show you, after having made a recording, how can we handle it from the mobile application. Let's see how the PLAUD application works, and let's see how this PLAUD NotePin is used in a practical way. As you can see, I have it on the wrist support now. It's super discreet, as I mentioned. It looks like the typical activity bracelet that, for example, Xiaomi made quite a few years ago, which many of you probably have had. One is very comfortable to wear, the strap is rubber, so it's rare that this generates any type of allergy. I have very sensitive skin, so in this aspect very well, and it is a very simple accessory. As you can see, when we access the application, we are going to have a history of all the things we have been recording. As you are seeing, I have here the ones that come by default, plus a recording I have made of a 15-minute conversation. Before we get into what we can do with that recording, just let you know that we can start a new recording from here or import a recording from, for example, those that we have recorded within the device with the iPhone's own recorder application. Once the recording is done, we can come here to do several things, like renaming it. And I'm going to put that this was a conversation with a friend. Once we enter, we will have the possibility to listen to the recording itself as we would do with any traditional voice note. Of course,
you're going to continue. How
are you seeing the quality? Well, it's quite correct to have the bracelet quite far from the voice, and it sounds, well, very good. In addition, here, well, we could cut the recording and do any kind of editing on this audio. Now for the important part, transcribing the entire note. Simply come to this section here to transcribe. We click on generate. We are going to make things easier by telling it that the recording is done in Spanish. We can use two artificial intelligence models, such as Generative Pre-training Transformer 4.0 and PLAUD. 3.5. I like Generative Pre-training Transformer 4.0, and we would directly hit the generate button now. As you can see, the transcription is already in progress, and as it is a 15-minute audio in total, it is not going to be very complex and it is going to take very little time. And well, we have it here now. If you've noticed, nothing has taken a minute, and here appears everything that we've been talking about, my friend and I, approximately every 30 seconds. It keeps showing us, after all, that we've been talking about the iPhone satellite connection, about a lot of things. Now that we want to generate a summary of the entire conversation, this is especially good for when, for example, we've recorded a class at the university and we want to make a summary. Here you are seeing date, time, and location. In short, it locates us. The meeting focuses on the planning of an adventure tourism route in snow conditions. The truth is, he has done it exceptionally well. Is the route you're taking the same as last time? It's unclear if it's identical, but it appears to pass through the same area. Well, it caught us here in the middle of our entire conversation. We've been talking about a motorcycle route. In fact, it tells us down here where it got additional information from. Well, we even talked about there being problems with the EcoBoost engines, that the motorcycle gets very hot on routes. In short, super well. This generative pre-training transformer chat does it very well. And then, what I like the most, a mind map that this, basically it's like a scheme of ideas that we've been talking about. That is, it tells us the essence of what we've been discussing. And then there's the question and answer part, which in the end is where it puts us. Well, listen, in a clearer, more organized way, so to speak, everything we've been talking about. Is it mandatory to carry chains? Yes, it is mandatory to carry chains. The system has identified that we discussed trying the planned route and switching to an alternative national road route if needed. What's more, it has detected that my friend's name is Carlos, so hey, it has done super well in this conversation. By the way, when we are in this summary option of summary of the conversation we have had, well, I could even ask a question to the artificial intelligence. For example, I'm going to ask, is the route being discussed in the north or south of Spain? And it tells me that the route being discussed is in the north of Spain. Places like Potes, Sotres, or Lagos de Covadonga are mentioned. Hey, can you imagine how powerful this is for example, having recorded all the classes of a university subject? And then, hey, you go to a class and say, in this class, I know I explain a whole topic to you. I'm going to ask the artificial intelligence a question about, for example, an explanation or a specific topic. You don't want to listen to the entire audio, but you want to ask if anything is mentioned. What is mentioned about the story that happened in 1050? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Well, you ask him and he's going to respond based on what he's detected in that audio. This is super good. And one thing that can be super useful for you is this option that's hidden over here, which is to play the audio. But we can set it to improve the voice, so let's try it.
Also, I'm going to tell you something. If you have to turn around, let's see, if you have to turn around, you're going to take a cool route because...
Well, this improves the voice of the recording in real time for us. And having said that, we could export any of the things we have generated. Both the summary and the audio, the transcription or the mind map. So super good, very complete, the PLAUD application, and seeing how it works. Now you might be wondering, but hey, if you said you can import an audio to the mobile application, why not use it without the need to have this NotePin? It's very simple, because we're going to take much less time to start a recording. Imagine that we are in a meeting and something starts to interest us. Well, hey, directly, we press here and we have started recording. However, if we want to take out our mobile, we have to unlock it, go look for the voice notes application, press record. Well, hey, in the end, we are going to miss those important details that can arise during, well, an interview, a class at the university, a work meeting in which we are negotiating something important. In short, what we have with this device is immediacy. It's common for mobile devices to vibrate when receiving messages. The recording gets cut off because we get a call, or we have any kind of distraction that interrupts the recording of our voice note. And hey, the use cases, well, I've already told you, this is useful for, well, engineers who are studying at the university. Well, I would have loved to have a device like this with artificial intelligence when I was studying. It would have saved me many hours of study when I had a class recorded and could ask the artificial intelligence a question based on the content of that class. I think it's brutal, but hey, you want to use it for a meeting that has extended for 2 or 3 hours? And you want a summary? Well, you ask the artificial intelligence directly and it's going to give you everything chewed up already. And another very important point, a use case that has worked well for me. On some occasions, it's when you have a YouTube channel. You're a content creator, and throughout the day you come up with ideas that you can develop. But then you say, okay, that's enough. Then, when I get home, I put it on my phone or computer. But then you get home. Have you completely forgotten that idea? The one you were thinking about when you were, well, I don't know, on the transport or taking a walk while taking the dog out? Well, directly with this NotePin, we could hit record. And we would have both the complete idea and then the possibility of making a summary or a brainstorm. With all that content, in short, endless possibilities that I also leave for you to experiment with yourselves. One super important thing is that this device is going to be able to function in 59 languages currently. I'm not sure about further development, but the main ones are already available, as I mentioned. Then it also works with any type of device. So, is it okay for us to transfer the recording to an Android device, an iOS device, an iPad? Whatever it is, it will be useful for us to make those summaries and it will be synchronized between all of them, as I was telling you before. And yes, Apple's artificial intelligence is also supposed to be able to perform activities of this kind. However, it won't reach regions like Spain until spring or summer, where we could already be using these features from our Plauz NotePin. Now comes the time to talk about the price. The price of this device is 189 euros. However, it's possible that you may find some deals. And also keep in mind that if you want additional accessories for whatever reason, like cases or straps or whatever, you're going to have to buy them separately. But what's the price you're getting? Both this pack that I've shown you with these 4 accessories and the device itself would be 189 euros. Now, I want to know in the comments what your opinion is. Do you find a device like this Plauz NotePin interesting? Would you use it in your daily life? I can tell you that it would have saved me a lot of time in university. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. See you next time. Goodbye.